Let's observe an unconscious MOB victim recovery training session. Man overboard recovery procedures fall into three categories: alarm, boat, and continuously. The first act is to sound the alarm and not panic. The alarmist loudly calls out, "Man overboard," followed by either port side or starboard side,
Man overboard! Starboard side!
and immediately throws a life ring into the water on whichever side marks the victim's location. Simultaneously, the captain signals the emergency situation with 5 short blasts of the horn.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
And immediately communicates with the Coast Guard on Channel 16.
Madeline, WZH 65.
The pointer keeps the victim in sight and gets into position on the bow to be in clear view of the captain. The captain uses the hailer to communicate with both the crew members and the passengers on board. This method of communication effectively controls the crowd, clears the deck area, and reassures the crowd everything is okay. If needed, the captain or deckhand may direct additional assistance from ferry passengers. The tool hand transports the heaving line, recovery strap, safety line, and PFDs to the recovery station. The tool hand puts on a PFD and places another PFD in the pointer's hand. The pointer will put on the PFD after being released from pointing duty by the captain. The bow ramp is lowered by first lengthening the safety chain. Once secured, the winch handle is pushed down, lowering the ramp to deck level. The pointer keeps the victim in sight and continuously points to the victim's location in clear view of the captain. Vigilant pointing continues until the captain acknowledges visual contact of the victim and releases the deckhand of pointer duty.
I have a visual of the victim.
The released pointer immediately puts on a PFD and jumps into tool hand mode. Once the ramp is lowered to deck level, it's chained on both port and starboard side. The anchor davit is pulled into position and placed outside the cable and chain. The swimmer's hook and MORS loop are placed on the bow. The tool operator executing the MORS loop puts on the safety harness and then attaches themselves to the boat with the safety line. As the captain slowly approaches the victim, the tool operator steps out onto the bow ramp and lowers the MORS loop into the water. The messenger continuously scans between victim and captain and directs the captain with hand signals, acting as an extra set of eyes to see below the lowered bow ramp. When the victim is within reach of the MORS loop, the tool operator positions it around the victim, starting with the furthest arm first. This ensures the loop is over the victim's head, shoulders, and arms, and under the victim's armpits. If additional help is needed to obtain a secure hold of the victim, the messenger assists by utilizing the swimmer's hook. With the MORS in position, the handle is pushed tightly up against the victim's chest. This takes out any slack in the loop and ensures a secure hold of the victim. The loop line is secured to the handle cleat. Once secured, the victim is moved within reach of the anchor davit. The davit hook is secured to the lifting eye of the MORS handle, and the victim is hoisted from the water. Once the victim is hanging at deck level, the davit carefully swings into position over the car deck and the victim is slowly lowered onto the deck. The messenger gives the captain an immediate assessment of the victim. The captain relays this information to the Coast Guard.
Coast Guard Station Bayfield, Coast Guard Station.
When the victim is securely situated on deck, emergency first aid is administered. A hypothermia blanket is also used. Victim assessment continues until medical help arrives. Let's observe a training session for a conscious MOB victim recovery. The conscious MOB victim recovery procedure is implemented if the victim is deemed fit to assist the boat crew with their MOB recovery.
Man overboard! Starboard side!
However, the crew must always be prepared that the victim may slip into unconsciousness.
May I have your attention, please? This is the captain speaking.
Therefore, all recovery procedures are implemented in the event of unconscious MOB recovery. In addition to these procedures, the ladder is placed along the starboard or bow rail. Victim verbal and nonverbal capabilities indicate the potential decision-making and fine gross motor skills necessary for their assistance in recovery. Through continuous communication between crew and victim, crew members determine the victim's ability to securely grasp a flotation device or retrieval tool and climb the ladder to safety. The tool operator casts out the heaving line to the conscious victim. Once grabbed, the victim is hauled into the ladder. If the victim needs additional assistance climbing the ladder, the recovery strap is used. Tending crew members assist the victim out of the water and give an immediate assessment to the captain. The captain relays this information to the Coast Guard. When the victim is securely situated on deck, emergency first aid must be administered. A hypothermia blanket is also used. Victim assessment continues until medical help arrives.